Welcome to the MaxBet podcast, a podcast dedicated to everything gaming. I'm Landon Jones, here with Mike McKiskey. Let's get started. Action.
What's up, dude?
Nothing, man. Cruising.
We're a little buzzing right now.
Cruising for bruising.
Oh, it's funny.
Interesting day today.
Yeah, it's been a wild morning.
Been a wild morning.
We're rolling the dice, playing a little career craps here today. I think this is interesting. So we have, we'll call him Stan because we have an advantage player come in to chat with us. So we were offered the opportunity to talk to a guy that counts a lot of cards and makes a little money, and we said, we want to talk to you.
And we do.
And we did. And it was interesting. And he's an interesting cat. We don't condone this. We're not saying you should do this. We don't want to be a promoting card counting or anything like that. What I was also interested in is at the end, he basically gave us a little responsible gaming message because we said, hey, do you have any advice? And he goes, only gamble what you can lose.
Correct.
Right. So it's interesting to say, like, even a guy that's going out, treating this like a business, treating this like a job.
This is the true casino, MIT.
Saying responsible gaming. So that was good to see. So yeah, let's get weird. Let's get uncomfortable. Let's, I don't know. Like it exists. Here's the thing, right? So if we're going to be a podcast that talks about the casino industry, shouldn't we talk about things that are even a little taboo?
I mean, it exists. It is a part of the industry.
Apparently a lot more so than we thought. Like what I would say is not only does it exist in a big way.
Yeah.
Like I feel like what you're saying is like what we heard today is like, oh, there's like a whole underground community of this. There's a lot of stuff going on. You're like, oh.
Well, most of these big security, like.
Why'd you put in air quotes?
I don't know why. Why did I put it in air quotes?
Security. It's like, is it not secure? What do we say?
No, but most of these like security guys that these big companies hire, MGMs, they used to count cards. So they go hire people that were advantage players to catch the people that are advantage playing.
Makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know that. I always thought it was like former FBI cop guys that like worked 25 years.
Maybe they were advantage players at some point, right? Like you look at these MIT guys, you watch the movie and.
Well, that's my knowledge going into this. It's like you watch the movie 21 and you just watch the guy like flipping cards on the table going +1, -1. It's at a 9. It's at a -9, whatever that even means. And I'm going, I couldn't do it. Like, so part of me just sits there and goes, hats off to you for being able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm sitting there going, I couldn't even do it. Not saying you should, right? But I'm saying like just the ability to do it. Like I would challenge most people that listen to this going, how many of you could say that they can keep count of a deck?
Yeah.
Single deck, let alone
while
6
maintaining
decks.
Focus and
while the cocktail waitress is yucking at you, while the guys at the table are making a fool of themselves, while the dealer's telling you their life story, like, good luck.
While you have a wig on.
Yeah.
Right.
That is an interesting part of the story. But yeah, exactly. You're just sitting there going, I don't know. So we're talking a little bit about card counting because it's a real thing that happens. And it's not something we are going to try ourselves. We don't, do not try this at home, but it's an interesting conversation.
I'm not smart enough to figure it out in the first place. Or do I have the attention span?
Me neither.
Like math-wise, I could do it, but attention span-wise, I'm already distracted right now.
Well, we always laugh because in our partnership, it's like you're the street smart guy. I'm the book smart guy. And there's stuff you find a way to do with people. I'm like, I don't know how you did that. And then you're like, how'd you figure that out? I'm like, I don't know. I read it in a book. But I'm sitting there. I don't know that either of us have the brain to do this, right? You'd almost have to have both. Like you have to have a little bit of a brain.
Stand on your shoulders with a coat. It'd be like 20 feet tall.
You know, they do say that a smaller man standing on a giant's shoulder can see further than the giant can.
What book was that?
It was in Jay-Z's.
Jack and the Beans?
It was a Jay-Z album, actually.
Oh,
so
I
assume he pulled it from somewhere.
He knows what he's talking about.
He's Hova. He's the guy.
Yeah,
so we got that
is a little
for
different podcast for us. We're trying to branch out a little bit more. We want to
have fun conversation.
Everything in gaming. There's no stone unturned in the MaxBet podcast that we won't unturn.
So what we will say?
What will we say?
We will say this is if you're listening to this and you're an operator or a game designer and you're going, no, F that.
Yeah.
You have an open audience to come counteract what he said.
Ooh.
So we will invite someone that's obviously qualified, with some random guy in his Toyota Scion going, hey, I'm the guy. No. You are in the position where you go, no. I combat this. I see the other side. It's bullshit what he said. Come on in. We'll talk to you too.
And if you're in that position and do drive a Scion, that's okay too. We'll take it.
Nope, you're eliminated.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know why I picked that car.
We're going to get an email from Toyota being like, hey, man.
No sponsorship for you. Okay, who knows? What else do you even say? I feel like normally we would go back and forth, but it's like I'm like caffeine buzz almost, like just talking to this guy going, I don't know, man.
Let's jump
Shine
into
a
it,
light in a
man.
dark place.
Let's bring our first
Advantage
controversial podcast into the scene.
Here comes Stan. Not his real name, but that's what we're going with.
See you in the other side.
Stan, welcome to the show. Appreciate you joining us. This is an interesting topic for us, I think, because we've always been pro casino guys working in in the vendor side and even for land and in operations. So to have an Advantage player come and kind of reveal some insights from that side of the biz will be interesting. So thanks for making the time to come talk to us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we were chatting earlier. I said, first thing, just right off the hop, like, how'd you get into this? Like, I think your origin story is a little interesting, but how you just woke up one day and said, hey, I want to start learning how to maybe shift the odds into my favor?
Yeah, I mean, I always been very competitive, and then I had a health issue and needed to just find something else.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let me try this. I can do it. And then about 2.5 months later, I was
pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And the blackjack tables getting after it. Do you have a background in mathematics? Because like for me, I laugh. Like I'm reasonably good at math. Like I think of most people walking down the street go, he's good at math.
I didn't think that when I first saw you.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But like thank you. But like I couldn't count cards or I don't understand the odds fast enough to kind of make it to do anything with the Advantage. Like, is that your history, or did you just literally say, I'm going to learn it, and then you studied it after?
I'm really good at math. Like if you have a 3rd grade math education, you can count cards.
No way. It's that easy.
+1, -1.
Yeah. If you can divide, no way. 9 by 3.
9 by 3 is 3. That's that I can do. So
we're in.
I guess, okay. So it's that easy. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily need you to teach us how to do it, but I guess I would have thought it was more complicated.
I mean, there is some complicated. It is complicated. Like I said, it took me about 2.5 months, whatever. Then I finally started going to the casino.
Yeah.
Then I put in a lot of practice hours to make sure I was ready. I figured to go baby steps before you.
Sure.
I'm not going to go all in right away on it.
Right.
And, but yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. The math part of it. There's, knowing how many cards are left. How much to bet at a certain time. All that stuff you have to manage your.
Yeah, so you're not only keeping track of I think, what was it in that movie 21? It was like 2 point +1 -1, right? So you're keeping track of, I guess, the overall deck count, but I didn't even think about how many cards are remaining.
I think that would be the hardest part about card counting is actually keeping your focus on what's happening at the table. So keeping direct focus on your cards, also paying attention to other players' cards while keeping the count. I mean, I could be way off, but I have ADD, so I've already probably lost half.
I mean, there's a lot that's going on in the casino, and that's one of the reasons why I put in so many hours at just what I sort of call my practice bankroll.
Yeah.
So you don't get distracted, and once you do it enough, and for a while, it becomes pretty natural.
Yeah. So do you tend to only play blackjack games that have single or double decks? Obviously, that makes it a little bit.
I mean, sometimes those are much easier, and the casinos seem to watch those quite closely.
Yeah.
Compared to other games.
Is that because they're easier to count?
Well, theoretically.
It's easier. The casinos are going to see us moving our bets a lot more rapidly, compared to like a 6-deck or an 8-deck shoe game.
I would assume though a 6 or 8 deck could be more lucrative if the count becomes in your favor towards the end of the shoe.
Correct. Yeah. It can be. It's and it also, value wise can be as good or better than the less decks, because if you get a fast dealer.
Yeah.
And, you could just blast through what we call N0, which is sort of what a gambler would call, if you're lucky or unlucky. For us, it's like the stock market. We start at a certain point, and our N0 is at a certain point. So, so once we put so many hours in, we're at N0. So if we get on a dealer that's dealing 250 rounds, an hour or something, we can really.
And that's a lot. That's like 36 is the average or something. I think.
You figure in an hour, that's like 4 hands a minute.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of hands.
There's some dealers out there that are just lightning quick.
No table talk. Like, see, to me, I'm the opposite. I can't keep count of this stuff. So like, I'm sitting there going, hey, tell me where you're from. Let's make some jokes. Like I'm here trying to be like Johnny
You're
stand-up
the guy
comedy.
that's messing his count up. I'm here just like,
Something tells me I can't phase him, but he's going to be annoyed at me for slowing him down.
Yeah,
right?
it annoys you. It does.
Yeah. Like, hey, shut up over there.
I was playing with a friend. We were just messing around over Christmas, and we had a dealer, and he would ask questions, and my friend would fall for it every time, and he'd answer them. And finally, I said to my friend, I said, "Would you just shut up?" I said, "Don't talk to him." I said,
"Yeah."
He was so slow; it was driving me crazy because the slower the game moves, we can't move the count.
Yeah. And how much of that, now that you're talking about other players at the table, I'm a regular player at Blackjack. I like grew up in Vegas, so I feel like I play by the book, right? But like, how frustrating is it if you get somebody at your table that doesn't know what they're doing, right? Because I might play $25 a hand, and then Landon sits down, he's like hitting 14 against a 6. I'm like, Black, what are you doing? Like, that's got to screw up your whole forecast, right? Or no?
Well, the answer you guys probably want me to say is that it drives me crazy, but actually it
doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all. I find it amusing.
Yeah,
just some of the stupid things that gamblers do.
Costing your own money. Yeah.
I mean, I see somebody get a pair of 5s, and I'm like, okay, they're putting their money out. They're going to double down on it. They split it, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like then that. They get 2 15s. They're like, shit, damn
it. The guy actually got an ace on the first card, so he would have had a 21.
Oh wow, yeah, exactly.
Like, so yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Really, I mean, there's certain players that get annoyed with other players, decisions and stuff, but it doesn't bother me. And I've never had a lot of the gamblers get on me for my playing decisions, because it's just the opposite. Because some of the stuff that we do, splitting 10s, hitting soft 20s, soft 19s on certain cards, you guys think we're crazy. But
I don't think you're that crazy. See, the difference is I do that, but I don't have the count in my head.
Right.
So like I'll double on an ace 9 if you have a 6 or something.
Well, that's right. Well, yeah, the ace 9 on a 6 isn't.
That's not crazy.
Soft 20. Well, it has to be a certain count to do that.
Okay, yeah.
I do want to go back. So you had some health issues. You decided that you wanted to like try this
getting in the biz
professional
on card counting and advantage play
player. Yeah. Did you gamble before that? Were you just
I did it for fun. And as we talked earlier before we got in here, I thought I could beat Blackjack by just increasing my bets, which they call the martingale. Yeah. And that's just not possible.
I've gotten crushed.
What is that? When they say the martingale, so it's basically like, let's say you hit $25 and then you lose, now it's 50. You lose, now it's 100. Yeah. But when you win, what do you reset?
Then you go back to
your whatever your initial stake was. Okay, interesting. And that doesn't work?
No.
Got it, yeah.
Crushed, dude.
Listen, people listen to this, Michael. I don't know. I'm going to try something.
Especially in the business I'm in now. I mean, I'm currently on a 200+ hour losing streak.
200+ hours. So this is even with your advantage, like your brain's ability to keep track of all these things. You're still not winning every time.
Yeah, I mean, there's sessions that I'll win, but it just goes all over. Overall, it's common, in Blackjack to go that long. And that's why, when I see, like Kelly's and other people's YouTube posts where people are just complaining that they're getting beat at certain casinos or this or that, that's just part of Blackjack.
It's like learn the math of the cards and then you won't complain.
It just is. I mean, because we go through it so much that we just sort of understand it. It sucks, but you just keep pushing forward.
So on a standard Blackjack game, and forgive me if I'm crushing these terms, statistics, or on a standard Blackjack game, paying 2 to 3 in Blackjack,
3 to 2,
or 3 to 2 on Blackjack.
Yeah, don't let them get any more money.
No, you're good. Yeah. Single deck, it's like a 1.01% house advantage. It's perfect strategy.
It's like a 0.1.
Yeah,
not 1 point.
Oh, it's even point. Better for the player than you think.
Yeah. And so if you're counting, what edge does that give you back to the player?
Yeah, I guess what does that change
it over?
To?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where we're at in the deck as far as what the count's at. Optimally the biggest edge we're going to get is somewhere like around 5 or 6%. Maybe a little bit higher, but our overall edge is like 1 or 2% on the game.
So when you're playing this advantage version, the overall advantage shifts to you. Is what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's why casinos like I've been what we call backed off, where they tell us we can't play anymore. Where I'm losing, and then the gambler's like, "Well, why are they stopping you from playing? You're losing." And I'm like, "Well, if they give me enough time, I'll
realize I'm gonna win." Yep. Yeah. Interesting. And it's so we were talking earlier. Like I said, well, is this cheating? And you said, well, not technically, right? So it's the casinos would say yes, but
it's a misconception. It's not even technically. It just isn't cheating.
Right.
You're just using your brain to beat the game. I mean, the the casinos and even the media, the movies and everything else want to put it out there that it's cheating. It's not cheating whatsoever.
Right.
We're just using our brain to beat the game. I mean, if you use something electronically or something
like that thing in the shoe with roulette or whatever, then you get balanced.
That's a whole different story, but that's not what we're doing.
You're just using your mathematical abilities. I mean,
so you cannot be arrested for counting cards.
No.
Fair. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, if they do, you'll have a good attorney to file a nice lawsuit.
So somebody walks in counting cards. Casino figures this out. Now, most of the time they figured out what? Because the surveillance is watching going, no one hits 17 in that scenario, or this guy's won 26 hands in a row. It's unlikely. Or like, how are they busting you? And I guess once they bust you, what do they do next? Like what would happen to somebody in your shoes?
Well, I mean, it can come from, the pit boss, then he calls up to surveillance or whatever. I mean, it's comical.
Some of the different things that happen.
I mean, because once you play enough, you're well aware of your surroundings.
Sure.
Yeah.
When I was playing at a casino here in Vegas a few weeks ago, they were on the phone instantly.
When you sat down.
Once I started playing it, because I started winning right away.
Yeah.
And then everything went negative for like a couple hours. And then they left me alone and I was able to play for a while. But as far as normally how they get it can be a combination of the pit boss surveillance. Yeah, Vegas is pretty sharp.
It's usually like staggered bets, right? So if I'm just consistently betting 25, and all of a sudden it's at the end of the shoot, and I start betting 120, 200, 300 a hand, then boom.
Yeah,
dead giveaway.
They're watching you move your bets. That's what I said earlier. The single deck and double deck. When your count moves, you're moving your bets more.
You ever throw them off with just like a in between bet, like 100, throw them
misinformation?
Off,
yeah. I mean, you can do that, but it's called cover, and you got to be aware how much that costs you as far as an advantage player.
Interesting.
I mean, sometimes it might work, but usually it doesn't.
And are you jumping around? So when you're talking about cover and how much this stuff costs you, like in some of these dummy bets, like what limits are you playing? Are you jumping all around from 25 up to high limit? Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you're not wasting your time on a $5 table, but like
I'll play if it's a $5 table, that's a really good game for us.
Yeah,
I'll play it, but I mean, I don't want to play on a full table. It's just too slow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll play table minimum to their table max.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And so the real goal for you, it sounds like, is to try to find somewhere where you're 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 with the dealer, not 5-on-1, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing for us is a table full of gamblers and they're all placing side bets.
Oh yeah, because then you got to count out the side bets. Right? You don't think about that because as like a regular player, it's not worried about. You're going, I don't know. Johnny talks a lot at the table, but for somebody's like, dude, shut up, stop betting Buster Blackjack. What are you doing, right? Like that's an interesting perspective.
So what is your favorite game to play? And then usually, like, what do you buy in with? Is it like you have to have a pocket full of cash to be able to run with a?
I think getting chips is actually a pretty interesting adventure for you, huh?
Yeah. I mean. We'll go in and get chips, prior or whatever. I mean, because once you get to 10,000, they're going to make you fill out something.
Then they get
they get your information. Yeah. We don't want to give up our identity because then they.
Yeah, so you can enter with less than 10,000. So let's, 5,000 for sake of example. So you enter with that. They don't need to fill out a form. Right. So you're just a regular guy with $5,000. And then if you win, so you win up to, let's say 20, let's say you had a run. I don't know if that's a normal run. Mm-hmm. When you leave, they don't need to card you. They don't need to say, hey, you took 20 out, or they do, and you just cash out in phases.
Correctly. We'll just.
The second one. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
So any transaction in or out over 10, they're going to put you on paper.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Yep. So that's such a. This is why, like, I would be tripping every landmine in the casino. I'd be like, I don't know, here's $20,000, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it.
If I went up to a table and just threw $8,000 down on the table, their freaking
bells and whistles going
just goes off like crazy. So when I buy in originally, it's usually $500.
The good news is you and I are players.
Well, no,
we're like the exact dodos they wanted. They're like, yes.
We're the customers they want. He's the ones they don't. But it's interesting. So this is really a grind. So like we were saying earlier, it's probably not the right label, but it feels to me like you're a professional gambler. And I say that only because what I'm hearing is you got to spend hours in the casino to actually turn this in your favor. So even though the math might be at yours right away, to turn 500 into something that's worthwhile, it's going to take a little time.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's like an average stay time? So if you go to the casino, I mean, maybe there isn't a true answer, but are you there 5-6 hours a pop, or is it longer, less? What do you think?
Sometimes it could be 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
But is that because they see you and go, okay, you got to go? Or is it because you just lost early?
I'm an aggressive player.
Yeah.
So I spread pretty heavily. And then some casinos, it's just their choke points. This is like, okay.
They don't like that. Yeah. They're like, okay, we don't want this action, whether it's legit or not.
Yeah, I had sessions that were literally, they felt like they were hours long, and they were literally like 33 minutes because I time everything.
Yeah. Well,
what's the most you've ever lost trying to get to that break-even point,
run,
or like in the run?
N0.
And then you had to leave, and you're like, shit, I just lost all this, and I didn't get to
You mean a single session?
Yeah.
$29,000.
Okay.
$29,000. Jeez.
Right on.
Yeah, and then they made me a player's card, and I was trespassed from one of their.
Right after they made you the card?
Yeah, because I was trespassed from a place that uses the same player's card from them.
Interesting.
And then this is a state where they can't stop us from playing, so they used it as a bullshit excuse for me to not play anymore. And they told me I couldn't play.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. So
it was basically two shoes and 2 6-deck shoes. I lost $29,000. The count was through the roof, and I just could not win a hand.
Couldn't connect.
Yeah. What's the most you've ever won?
I was gonna say, flip that around, because this might bring me back to where I started.
Yeah, I've had a number of 5-figure wins, so it's paid off.
Yeah, that's interesting.
5-figure wins.
So when you look at this, I'm assuming, because this is kind of your profession in its own right, on the year you're generally up.
Right.
So as you go across an annual period, you're going to win more often than you lose.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can have break-even years in Blackjack, play 400, 500,000 hours, and still have break-even years. It can be really
crazy.
It can be really hours.
It is. It can be really frustrating. But fortunately, as I progressed in this industry, I've learned other stuff. So I'll never have a break-even year again.
Yeah. Other stuff, meaning other ways within Blackjack, or other games in the building?
Other stuff in the casino that I can take from the casino.
Interesting.
I'm assuming it's a small community of Advantage players that you guys kind of know one another.
Yeah, we have our network, which feels like an underground type of thing, you know.
Probably.
But, have you ever sat down at a table and you saw another guy? You're like, oh, we shouldn't be here together.
Yeah,
that's Johnny.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things. And if you sit at another counter's table, you need to leave. It happened to me in a casino in the Midwest, where the high limit rooms in the Midwest are really high limits, $25 tables, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and they have the same exact game on the floor, and this guy who looked like Gallagher comes in and sits down,
smashing watermelons.
Yeah, and I'm splitting the two hands of $1,500 on this table, and he's betting up to one hand of like $120 or $125. And I'm just giving him the death stare to get the hell off my table.
Hey, Gallagher,
working this out. Yeah,
go
buddy.
Patrol the parking lot,
smash your
buddy.
watermelon here in a minute. Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling him, there's a lot of etiquette in this game. And I'm like, I go, look, there's a lot of nobody's playing on the tables out in the other room, and he still didn't get it. And of course, he was catching the blackjacks when it went good. I wanted to reach across the table and just strangle him.
Smack him, yeah. So do you think he could tell that you were doing that as well? And he thought the couple counters here are going to take it down? Or?
For sure, he knew I was doing it. But it was really stupid on his part, because when I'm playing that aggressive, why give yourself up on the same table as somebody that's playing like me?
Yeah. Well, because that's all the hand. You've got to figure, legit or not, they're watching that action. Yeah. Right? I would imagine, especially in the Midwest, I don't know the casino, but if you're just saying you got a guy that's playing $3,000 a deal, even if it's on 2 circles, you're probably paying attention to it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in my head, I wonder how many times that you or I have tripped up security, because I stagger my bets.
You do it all the time.
I do it all the time. I'll be playing 50, 50, 50, and boom, 400.
Yeah.
Just because I have no idea what I'm doing, right?
Well, I was thinking
maybe, possibly, kill him.
No, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because on single deck, right? So I sit and play. I love single deck, because my theory is I'm never going to lose that much. Because you only get 2 or 3 deals out of it.
Yeah.
And so even if you lose the first one, you probably win the second one, vice versa. So it's a game for me. I could just sit and hang out.
Yep.
Not necessarily trying to win 5 figures. But I'll do that. I'll look at the first hand and go, not a lot of 10s here. Not that I counted them, but just that I'm kind of going, my feeling here is it's a lot of 6s and 7s. I'm going to double up because I feel like just 10's coming. Yeah. And sometimes it backfires and the dealer gets all the 10s and I still get 6s. But they're probably looking at me going, what, maybe, but I don't bet enough. I mean, I'm betting $25-$50,
they would know the correct playing choices as far as what we would do. So when they look at yours, they're probably like, no, just let them play.
Yeah. Just let these two knuckleheads lose their money.
I strongly recommend not doing that, but at least you're using some type of
just some
observation skills.
Like I said, I normally play by the book, but it's just literally just one of those, I haven't seen an ace in a while. Probably an ace coming.
Yeah. I mean,
no way to know it's coming to me.
Any gambler in a single deck game can, just keep track of how many aces are out there.
And then it's the last guy in the end that gets all four in his one hand.
They're coming to the end of the deal, and they're a dealer, and the dealer's got an ace up, and there's not one ace coming out. You'd be like, okay, well.
Would you take the insurance?
Yeah, you might.
Do you take insurance on yours? Is that just
there's a certain point I'll take insurance.
Okay, yeah. And is that mostly just based on? I've always been wondering it because I always say insurance is a no.
It's at a mathematical.
Got it.
Situation.
So again, I see. Okay, so it's deck count. You go, okay. The likelihood of a blackjack being present is at a certain level. So
that's another way the casinos when I'm insuring a 16 against their ace, they're like, why is he insuring that?
But see, like I never thought of. So it's funny. So I've been playing social blackjack. So this is gonna impress no one. But they offer the insurance, and I've been wondering, like, well, why would I do it? And I'm realizing it's because, like, when I have a million fake chips out, that's a lot, by the way. It's big roll. Anyway, I sit there and I go, well, I don't want to lose those. So it's not about whether I have a 16 or a 20 because it doesn't matter. It's just about, well, if you have blackjack, I want my money back. So I never based it on what I had in my hand. But I guess does that factor in? So you're saying, well, I got a 16. Who cares? I'm going to lose anyway.
It's protecting my bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Insurance is actually technically a side bet.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. The one that's built in.
Yeah.
So what other games outside of blackjack do you play that you would consider yourself an advantage player in?
I've played, carnival games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Ultimate Texas
or whatever. Yeah.
There's other stuff I can't get into, but pretty much almost anything in the casino you've seen I could play.
And is it mostly cards or is there a slot advantage as well? I mean, you don't have to get into the details. Obviously, I'm not trying to expose you.
We've got
I think that it's well aware now that with the internet and stuff that people are taking advantage of some slot stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, but is it mostly just because, to your point, I've seen that. Like even when we were on the slot vendor side, we would see this article, oh man, they found a bug in a game. So it was like, uh-oh, there's a glitch or there's something that needs to be fixed. So if you find it and get a run on it, you can capitalize before they fix the bug. But is there
there's some times where they'll
just inherent to the game.
Sometimes they'll have like where there's a progressive that's reset wrong or something.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was.
But it's more just error stuff. It's the buggy game. It's the bad jackpot fix.
If you say so.
Well,
I think there's an advantage to chasing some progressives, right? Like, I mean, you even see some progressives have to hit at 1,000 on. I won't call the game out, but you can see when it hits that. But you could still get crushed. It could still be another 1,000 spins before you win that one.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
There's casinos that do some great stuff promotional wise that you can take advantage of too.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Clues, little Easter eggs as we go. See, I guess I just took faith in all the math. Like I just assumed. So here's my thing, right? I am, to your point, the best player for the casino. So I'm going, somebody figured that out, right? Like somebody looked and said, well, it's a reset value of X and this is obviously going to be there at edge, but it sounds like maybe not.
It's funny because we're just sitting here talking about advantage play and people listening are, whether they're operators or not, they're like, oh, maybe I could do that. But it sounds to me like this is a tough lifestyle. Like I would not recommend it. Full work. It's tough.
You can't have thin skin, which confrontation doesn't bother me. It's like fuel to my fire anyways. I just get a kick out of people when they fly off the handles.
But you're committed. I mean, this is like a full lifestyle.
Yeah, I've been doing this on the road for over 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, you mentioned on the road. That's what I was going to say. So like when you talk about that, because if you went, I can't remember where you were. You said you Midwest, let's say you said you were backed off, right? So that place you probably can't go back to now, or you have to get crafty.
I mean, I can go back, but just not for a while.
Yeah. So is it just a cooling off period? So when they say, hey, you're backed off, is there a traditional like 6 months or a year or some period?
Yeah, we usually give it 6 months to years, almost exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And so, but you're traveling around. So I mean, are you just worldwide basically going, probably mostly US?
I haven't traveled out of the United States too much yet, but in the future that will happen.
Interesting.
A couple of places in line.
It's got to be expensive, right? Like to be doing all this, because now you're saying like, hey, I got to fly to wherever you are to wherever you're going, and then get your own travel stuff.
I file as a professional gambler, so I need some of the write-offs anyway. So
interesting.
But we as an advantage player, everybody thinks that we're staying at the Hiltons or the suites.
Yeah,
not the case.
That's what I was going to say.
We try to save money as much as we possibly can. It's
probably one of those where, because of the style, you lose a lot of that. Like if Landon and I went in as just our two idiot selves and we lost $29,000 in a matter of minutes, we'd probably get a pretty nice room that night. We'd probably get free dinner. We'd probably get some show tickets, right?
Probably lose all the money we won.
They go, hey, come on. Yeah, they may even give us some free play to try again. Yeah. But for you, they're going, we're not giving you anything. Right? Or, I mean, how's that work? Because you're probably missing out on a lot of perks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play with a player's card when I'm playing blackjack.
Right.
I mean, unless I have some really good information on the casino. But yeah, normally that's not the case. I don't want them to know who I am. So yeah, I won't get that. But I mean, I because of some of the other stuff I do, I get my share of steakhouse dinners, which I don't even take advantage of anymore. I try to eat my own food, stay somewhat healthy.
So we have a lot of operators listening to this right now, and this is What would you want to tell them as an advantage player? That's a good question.
So if somebody was
so they're listening,
you guys don't need to take it so personal. It's just a business.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys act professional and stay cool, it's the best thing that can happen. Just if you don't want us to play and we're playing a blackjack game or whatever, just tell us to leave. We'll leave. There's no need to fly off the handle. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You guys know that we're not doing anything illegal, and really the amount of money that we can take from a casino doing this is so minuscule.
Yeah, compared to their overall haul. Yeah, interesting. Wild. Yeah, you see that a lot. I guess you see that guys like chesting up to you and like trying to say, "Hey, man," like getting loud and like kind of aggressive.
I had once in I can let you guys hear the audio later.
Okay.
A casino in Mesquite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the security guard, they were pissed at me because they started dealing and they shuffled on me. I went from $5 to 2 hands of 500, and the pit boss came in and he's like, shuffle, and the dealer started dealing. I'm like, no, you owe me for the hands, and they just flew off the handle. I was pretty calm, but he just kept escalating it. And then it led to they were going to trespass me, and I started walking out, and the security guard was just about to put his hand on my shoulder. I could see it coming right there. So I just threw my hands in the air. I said, don't effing touch me. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I wish you'd touch me, because that's, again, we're looking forward to that, because that's now you're liable.
Wow. What a scenario you got to be in, right? Like, geez, it's wild on either side.
I think he was ex-military. He was just completely nuts. He was calling me a little fucking prick and all this other
just
stuff.
Going nuts on the floor. Like, that's the hard part. Like, this probably happened in the middle of the pit.
Think you're a security guard in the middle of Mesquite. You've got nothing going on in your day. Then you get this one guy and you're like, it's my time.
Old Charlie card counter walks in. He's ready to go. Yeah, exactly.
That's Marine Corps. Going after.
He was so out of line. It was so funny.
Oh, wow.
But I'm glad nothing happened for both
everybody's
parties.
all good there. Yeah, that's.
So I got backed off just last week at a casino.
Do you play poker at all?
Totally cool. Video poker.
You don't play like card poker? Because I feel like there's like an advantage play there, and there's a strategy.
I haven't gotten into too much into the poker aspect of it. It's different.
You think there's an advantage playing Hold'em, like just regular Texas Hold'em?
Yeah, of course, dude. Like there's definitely strategery to like figuring out the math combos. You like that?
Yeah.
Strategery.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that play like $30, $40 an hour. Yeah. Texas Hold'em games. It hasn't interested me, that part of it.
I just thought because you like kind of analyzing the cards and using your analytical brain, and
I do like the game, but I have so much going on right now. I just don't have time with it.
Interesting. Yeah. And then one thing you were saying earlier, how do you enjoy the process of like costume? Because you were saying some places you go, you like throw them off with different styles of, I won't get into all the details, but different costume styles that you use. Like
it's sort of funny. Yeah. I said one of the pictures to my sister, and she's like, "Who's that?"
It's like, it's your brother. That's me right here.
That's Bob.
Yeah.
Well, his alter ego.
I could walk right by somebody in the casino and they would recognize me if they knew me.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then, like, because coronavirus probably helping you then with the mask, is that or does it not really matter?
No, I think it helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm assuming
I had a place that literally told me they couldn't tell who I was because of the way I had my mask and my hat on.
Yeah, they're like, wow. So did they ask you to change and like show it, or no?
No, this was afterwards. They weren't going to cash me out, and I had to get gaming involved.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were just outright assholes.
So what does that happen then? So like, is it? So let's say that's going. So let's say they think or have reason to suspect that you've advantage played them, right? And that they have whatever. You now have, let's just say 10,000 in chips, enough to hit the radar, and they don't want to cash you out. When gaming gets involved, what can they even say? Like, how does that process even happen?
Well, they have to cash you out.
That's the rule. So if they have a chip, they
pretty much have to. Yeah, I mean, especially in this case, I had $2,000 and I was buying in, and the guy comes up, "Hey, you, get over here right fucking now. Come over here." I'm like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. I was there a week before, and they got mad at me because I came back. And they flapped at me the week before, and then I came back, and then they were mad. But anyways, I had the $2,000 on the table, and they decided to give me $2,000 in chips. Then later on, they ended up having a hurricane in this town, and this casino got disabled. And so it was like a couple months later, they were opened up, so you were able to go back in for people that were cash and chips.
That had chips, they could redeem them, yeah.
And they weren't gonna cash me out, and I even had gaming there. And this guy was a nice guy, but he just didn't know what the hell he was doing.
The gaming guy or the casino?
Well, the casino guy was just a jerk. I have audio of this too. So I left, and then I'm calling gaming themselves, and I said, "Listen, you guys are oversight for the casinos." I said they had the option of giving me my money back or giving me the chips. They gave me the chips, and now they're not going to cash them out.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're obligated to cash them out. I mean, I told them, I said, "You guys will cash them out." I was pretty calm. I said, "You're going to cash them out one way or another."
Is that the same, you think, with like a tribal run property and a state run property? I'm sure they have different rules and laws.
Yeah, tribals are completely different.
Yeah, you're done at that point, right?
Yeah, if they don't want to cash you out, you might as well. You're gonna have to find someone to do it for you.
So how many? So you probably stick to more state-run properties.
No, I haven't had a lot of problems with the tribals. They've actually been pretty decent for the most part with me.
And how many casinos do you visit a week, you think?
I'm in a casino almost every day.
So that's
pretty much every day.
So that's 7. I mean,
simple math. I mean,
I told you I was a math guy.
Yeah, I mean,
7 is the answer.
Sometimes it's the same casino, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. And I'm like this week. I mean, this week I'm traveling from, I think I have to travel to 3 different states.
Yeah,
alone.
Wow. And how often that you do go in, do they catch on?
I think they're always going to catch on at some point. Hopefully, later. Like I think I was talking to you, I had something set up where I lost $200,000 of income. I didn't lose $200,000, just the income part of it.
You could have had a win of. And
if it would have continued, it would have been $200,000 income guaranteed.
Yeah, wow.
So your biggest loss is $28,000. What's your biggest win? You said 5 figures, but is it
99 or 11?
Yeah. Well, my biggest win wasn't technically in blackjack. It was something else, but it was more than 29,000.
Yeah. Well, do that every day, make a good money.
That's Do
the math on that, smart guy. 30 grand
Can't
times 365.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's it. Oh man, that's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild.
It's just interesting.
What's your favorite slot machine? You don't even have to talk about like an advantage.
Not even an advantage. Do you? Well, I should actually, before you get to that, do you enjoy playing any games that do you ever just sit and go, okay, I'm not going to count this or try to figure it out. I'm just going to play it.
I truly enjoy blackjack.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's why you're probably so good at it, is because it's not a job.
I mean, some of the other stuff, I mean, it's interesting, like learning new games.
Yeah.
Like, if it's 3-card poker, which is pretty much a shitty game to try to even beat.
Yeah.
But Mississippi Stud, because it's a little more complicated to figure out their strategies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoy them. But blackjack is a fast-moving game. It's sort of fun. Yeah.
That's a good question, though. Like, do you ever sit down at a blackjack table and you're like, I don't want to get kicked out of this casino, and I just want to have a fun, and you have to kind of stop yourself from counting? Or?
I'll say, I bet there's probably not a world where you can sit down and not count it. Can you turn that off?
No.
There's no way.
No.
And I only laugh about that because
I shouldn't say that. Sometimes if I have to play a video blackjack game, I'll only count certain hands because it's just every hand it's reshuffling.
Yeah. It's like there's no point in it. But I was gonna say, because even watching football, you learn to watch film a certain way. So I'm watching the playoffs going, I watch it like a lineman playing the game, not like a fan. Right. And so for him, it's probably the same equation where he's like, I'm always going to know what the count is.
Yeah, maybe you could apply for the Packers special teams.
You think? Yeah, geez, man, somebody's got to. I can't do it. I can barely live my current life with some of the old injuries, but yeah, no worries.
Yeah, you couldn't be a big, if you were an advantage player and you needed disguises, there's no chance.
You would have to do it.
I'm good. Like the Spider-Man can get in. I'm
for sure.
nimble. You would be like, oh, MaxBet, you got a big wig on.
A little bit of disadvantage.
Polar bears here. Right? Yeah, he just knows.
That's why I'm always wearing something to cover up my upper body
frame. Yeah.
I saw you both in all black, so I was like, I'm going to go all black on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's slimming.
This is my gym attire. So
yeah, there you go. Go bench. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So anyways, some of the things, these YouTubers like Kelly and Danielle and stuff. I watch their videos and I just look at the comments, and I'm not on there to say, hey, I'm smarter than you guys. I'm just on there to sort of sway people away from doing stupid things.
Like that double up strategy where you're like, hey, that doesn't work. I'll tell you about it. Yeah.
You like, play two hands, change it up. To change what up?
I watched some of her videos. They make not the players, the dealers are making mistakes, like with them buying in, with them. It's
I'll have a story about that in a second too.
Go for it, yeah.
But anyways, the stuff about pressing your bets, changing to, don't follow basic strategy, which is basically saying I'm not going to follow math. When you guys are going to two hands, you guys don't know when you're doing it and why you're doing it. You're already playing at a disadvantage with one hand. Why would you want to play at a disadvantage
double your
with two
disadvantage
hands?
Yeah, exactly.
And then pressing your bets, if unless you're keeping track of where the cards are, you now could be betting into a bigger negative situation. And then let's say you bet into a positive situation, then you lose. Now you're going back to your minimum bet now, but it's still a positive situation. You're back to your minimum bet.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I bet the casino has a little it's like sleight of hand almost, or they fuel this idea that two hands might help you. Because if you sit down, let's say it's a $10 table to play $10 and you want to play a second hand, now you have to play 20-20.
Right.
Like you can't just play 10 again. Like they usually make you play 2 times the minimum. Mm-hmm. So if you're somebody sitting there going, oh, I must be getting an advantage, that's why they're charging me more to do it. Right. Like it's probably just this. And if you don't know, you're going,
no, they want
just inherently you're going, oh, okay.
That's strictly for us.
But now they go, hey, let's double and lose. Yeah.
Like you guys don't pay attention to another thing is like when you hear people like, oh, cut it good. That's all baloney, because first off, the dealer's going to cut it again anyways.
Yeah.
And which is important, but not for the reason you guys think. It's actually, how much cards they're going to take out of play.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they but they're probably told, right, to make it a certain, right around a certain depth.
Yeah. And which is absolutely, just for us, the faster we play, the better it is, the more money we'll make, in the long run and faster. The casino's the same way. By taking that many cards out of play, they're only dipping into their own profits, because that's the more times they have to shuffle and it slows the game down. It's really, they're so paranoid of somebody coming in there to beat them that they literally take money out of their own pockets.
Is it stressful?
That's for your operator guys there. You need to get your crap together and not be so worried about us. Just pay your surveillance decent and don't just you'll be for a good game.
Yeah. Well, like some of the dealer stuff, like you were telling me earlier, we're not going to name casinos, but you were like, 40% of the time I saw the whole card come out of the thing. Like when the dealer was like dealing cards, and then the way he or she took it out, you're like, I knew what they had.
Yeah.
That's a completely different thing. Then you don't even bother really counting, and it's a whole nother ball game.
That would be better, I would think, right? Because if you knew, that's the biggest thing. Because basic strategy guy, I assume she's got a 10 or he's got a 10.
We won't comment too much on that.
That's okay.
It's very, very.
Like, how long do you see yourself doing this for? Is it it sounds stressful?
Yeah, are they closing in on you? Like, are they making this harder? And you think they're going to catch up?
There's so many casinos out there that it's impossible for them to ever stop us.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But you see yourself, this is like a longevity thing?
I'm going to do it for I'm really going to hit it hard for, at least the rest of the year. Then I'm just going to sort of slow down and take more travel from my home to the casinos and not be on the road so much. But you guys are talking about dealer mistakes. It's one of the things we have to look for, because everybody thinks that because you're a dealer in a casino that they're, mistake free. They're human beings.
Yeah.
It happened at the Orleans. I split tens and I had $800 on each hand, and one of the hands was a soft 21, which I doubled. And the pit boss came over because the dealer's like, he wants to double it. I go, yeah. That's a soft 21, and I'm going to double it. I told him I was going to do it, because it's just people don't even realize they can do it. Even this pit boss didn't realize it. So I literally told him I was going to do it and did it. And then I won 3 out of the 5 hands, and the double down was one of them. And then they came to pay me, and he's like, okay, it's the pit boss came over, he was at 700 there, here, and I'm like, hold on a second. I go, it's 800. Yeah, they almost mispaid me $100 each hand.
Per times 5 or whatever. That's a lot.
It adds up.
Yeah. I would assume, I guess I would have assumed you could do it. I just wouldn't do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like me, I don't have that same aggression. Well, I also don't know the count.
Yeah,
but
you have to split tens to do it first off.
Well, yeah, because that's the only way you get a soft 21. Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah, I'd be like, 21, I'm done. Good.
But if you get a natural blackjack, so let's say you just are dealt blackjack, so just straight off the hand. You don't have the option to then double that. You just take them.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that anyways.
Right.
Yeah, and another thing for a gambler, stop playing 6-5 blackjack, please, so they get rid of that stupid game.
Well, I know.
Not to be confused with 5-6.
Yeah, well, that would be even worse.
Flip the number.
Landon's the house.
2-3-3-2.
But yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's how they get you low limit. Like I feel like if they're you want to play $5, you can play 6-5, right?
Yep.
So
which is probably better to play the $10 game than the $5 game.
3-2. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like what is it? $300 is like a difference of $90 in blackjack.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy how much that 5-6 and the 2-3 changes. It's like a 2% or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
So another thing is I was telling one of my friends I was going to bring this up. Like you walk through the casino and we get made fun of a lot because of the way we do things and everything else, and we're really isolated in the casino. I can't say, "Hey, listen here, dumbass, I'm doing this because it's this."
Oh, you get made fun of, but probably guys like me going, "Why are you hitting 17, bud?"
Whatever it is.
We're the guys that wants to shut up.
Right. Okay, I'm realizing that. Yep.
You walk through the casino and you see the gamblers rubbing the slot machines and everything else.
Yes,
and it's like I want to go up to them and say, "You realize that's a machine." It has no feelings. It has nothing. Yeah. I said, you rub your car in the morning and say, "Hey, listen, get me to work on time."
Let's get
sometimes
it's
cold outside. You start.
The stuff that you guys do is comical sometimes.
The gamblers are interesting. Do we have that? Like when we're playing, I'm trying to think. We don't rub the screen.
Way. There's a lot of people that do. They have their own little,
they touch
juju that thinks they're gonna like.
It's a machine.
If they're having fun, like. They're having fun doing it. It's the ones that get aggressive that I can't stand. Yeah, they don't hit it and then they smash the machine. It's like, chill out, buddy.
Well, sure.
Yeah, those screens are like the screen where the touch screens are like $1,900 because they're connected and they're expensive as hell. You guys would know that, right?
Yeah, it's like an iPhone. It's like an LED touch screen deal. Yeah.
I saw once on like CTV from a security cam, a guy throwing a chair through Big Red. Into the screen. Didn't win. Put the screen up, threw a chair right.
A friend of mine was in the casino in the Midwest, and he was just telling me that in the high limit room, some big guy and a little guy got in a little
big fight.
No, in a fist fight where they actually had arrested the big guy. He punched the little guy and cut him up and everything.
Jeez.
Oh, it happens. Yeah. There's that one massive one we saw. But anyways.
What do you mean?
There's that massive fight that we saw.
Oh, and down in Florida, yeah. That was like in the shops, though. I think that was drinking at the pool, not so much on the gambling. But that was wild.
Sounds like Florida.
Yeah,
exactly.
Florida man goes nuts in casino. What else? Is there anything we haven't asked you? I'm trying to think.
We don't know all the cool questions.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm just amazed that this is happening every day.
Yeah, I would just suggest to people too. Like, if you see somebody at the table and you think they're doing something crazy.
Probably are.
Just be careful who you're talking to because that person might know a lot more than what you think.
Yeah, good. That's probably, I'm going to take that advice. I don't actually say too much. Like if somebody's doing weird things.
Nobody's going to tell you to shut up, though.
That's not the point, though, right? Like this is more of an anti-bullying campaign, Landon. Okay, it's I shouldn't be giving him a hard time is more the deal. But it makes sense. I think for me, because you get to a sense where if you're not counting, like I bet you'd feel the same way when you're playing. You go, I know how to play this game. I know how to play quote unquote by the book. I know what I'm doing. Most people would say he's doing it right. Yeah. The only question I have, what do you think about a 12? You hit 12?
Against the
13.
Another 12 or 2 or 3. So a 4 and higher, I usually stay. But if it's a 12 on 12.
Against a 2 or 3, you hit it.
Okay, good.
And
that's what I've been doing lately, but I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Whatever you do, always do that. Because it's like a 50.
As far as basic strategy goes. But if you saw me playing and I wasn't doing that, but there's reasons why I wouldn't do that. But
for you go.
It counts high.
Yeah, exactly. So there's times that
someone runs into you. Should they just do what you do? Like if you're hitting weird, should they start doing weird or like?
I wouldn't recommend that because just because I do something, by the time the cards get to them, it could be
the count could be different. Right? Obviously, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've had people literally change their bets because they figured out what I was doing. It happened here in Vegas. There was
he's up, we're up. We're down.
As a matter of fact, I'll control the table, ask people not to play at a certain time so I can get more of the.
So here's a question: if you owned a casino. Would you let card advantage players play in your property? Or would you be better about how you manage it?
I would offer a really, really good game and have my surveillance really good. But I mean, they wouldn't be able to play there, but because it hurts your amount that you're going to make. But I'd offer a much better game than these people are playing because I understand rounds per hour and all that stuff.
What makes the game better? Just making a faster game, like giving it maybe less side bets? Or...
Right. I mean, well, if they, for example, where they put the cut card, if you take less cards out of play, it makes it much better for us.
Yeah.
The dealers that are fast, like if I was a supervisor and I saw a dealer that's doing a lot of talking, I'd have a talk with them. Say, hey, listen,
no customer service. You
can talk to them, but you know what I mean? Like if you're slowing the game down that much that you're not dealing, that cuts into the casino's profit.
Yeah. Unreal.
They want to play fast, man. How often when we do like group pulls or something, people are going slow? It's so annoying.
I recommend for the gambler, the slower game, the better, because you guys will lose less money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Less quickly.
Yeah, I just do it because I never expect to win an insane amount. Like I always say, if I could double up, triple up, I'm fine. I'm gonna start a couple $100, but like I enjoy it. Just sitting there. If I'm playing blackjack, it's because I want to just hang for a minute, have a free beer, talk to whoever's behind the table, make a friend at the table. Like, yeah, I'm the guy you don't want when it's blackjack time. Unless I was like smart enough to go, oh, something's happening here. I'll just shut up and let's go.
We don't want to sit at a table and just look like a robot either.
Yeah, right.
But we do want the game to, be somewhat speedy.
True. Better to talk to each other than the dealer then. Let the dealer go fast, chat with the other guy. That makes sense.
Yep.
That is wild.
Yeah, I'll interact with the pit boss and stuff, but normally the dealer I won't say too much to.
Yeah.
I want them to keep going.
It makes me realize that I am a disadvantaged player. Like if I'm,
of course,
I'm exactly what.
No, I just so I knew who you guys were. I listened to your first two podcasts.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, nice.
And that's why I heard about pressing the bets, and then your story in the high limit room on the video poker machine. And stuff. I just shake my head.
Yeah.
That's the response we were going for.
Yeah.
Just the disappointed head shake.
I love it.
Yeah.
Listen to an episode.
I have a good time now. I'm having fun out here.
Oh, I mean, it's good that you won. Listen, I want everybody to win. I want people to take as much money as we can from the evil empire, we call them.
That's that's nice. A little Death Star. That's wild. Any parting advice? So players, I mean, maybe that they're not going to be able to count, but guys like us, like what can we do to help ourselves?
I think with anybody, just don't get in a mode where you're chasing something, you lose money, only bring as much money as you're going to play.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, if it's a blackjack table, roulette, slot machine. By the way, just because somebody says they're playing a penny slot machine does not mean that's cheap.
Oh yeah, it's an 88-cent min bet.
$8 you know how many times you can spin in a minute.
Quite a few more than you can bet blackjack.
Right. So just know what you're getting into. You got to remember the casinos are there because they're winning, not losing.
Right.
There's no such thing as a hot machine. There's no such thing as this dealer's bad luck.
Yeah.
There's all these things are just gambler myths and superstition.
Be nice to the dealer on that too, because I feel like a lot of people go,
do you tip your dealer at least? Like if you're winning, do you tip the dealers?
You guys don't want to hear this.
Uh-oh. I feel like that was the answer.
Honesty is the real answer.
Our edge isn't big enough for me to constantly tip the dealer. So very seldom I will tip the dealer.
Interesting.
I mean, it's just part of it.
That said, I think he's in the majority, whether it's an edge or not. I feel like when I'm watching, not a lot of tips thrown out. Like, and I think I'm sure over an hour you get a few, but
if people put the math together, let's say I would tip them $5, like 2 times an hour or whatever. If they put the math together, how many hours I play and everything else, they would understand how much money I'm actually giving back to the casino. The casinos make enough money. If people are worried about these dealers making enough money, then the casino should be paying these dealers more, not just crap where they say, well, you're going to work here and you're going to make this much on tips.
Not squeezing you for the tips.
Yeah, it's like you guys are already losing money. Why do you have to tip the dealer? You're already playing a losing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Why do you have to tip the dealer on top of it? Like it's like they're not giving me, chips back when I'm losing.
Yeah, kickers. Yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah,
that's wild.
Well, we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
I like it.
Any fun? Yeah.
Anything else that you want to?
Yeah.
I probably have some things like about in any interview. I'll probably remember like an hour or two.
That's how typical.
Yeah. Just keep your eyes open in the casino.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. Good luck out there. Stay safe.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, get some more people on that. Give out some good information that we can.
On the executive side. Yeah, perfect. Give them a little fuel. Give them something to read on.
Can't wait to see how this flows into our community.
It'll be well. Then, what we should do is have the counter to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is it's a business for the casino. And it's also a business for us. Like people like like myself, it's literally a business. It's, and if for a casino, that should be the same thing too. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Right. But that sometimes, on both sides, they make it personal. And we both have to stay away from doing that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well said. Well,
right
we appreciate you. Thank you. And good luck out there.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, man.
Thanks.